I invite Professor K. Laxminarayana, who is a professor at the Department of Economics, University of Hyderabad. A professor who has stood with Ambedkar Students Association through thick and thin, needs no introduction at this space. I invite him to garland the image of Babasaheb Ambedkar and the statue of Rohit. Committee members to join Professor Laxminarayana.
जोहार डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब अंबेडकर जोहार जोहार डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब अंबेडकर जोहार जोहार रोहित वेमुला जोहार जोहार रोहित वेमुला जोहार जोहार डॉक्टर बी आर अंबेडकर जोहार 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 रोहित वेमुला जोहार 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 जोहार
जोहार रोहित वेमुला
जोहार जोहार होरारी मनवादी खड़कम रानी गोरी होरारी मनवादी खड़कम रानी गोरी होरारी मतनवादी खड़कम रानी गोरी खबरदार बीजेपी गुंडल्लारा खबरदार 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 आरएसएस गुंडल्लारा खबरदार खबरदार स्मृति ईरानी मुर्दाबाद 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 स्मृति ईरानी मुर्दाबाद 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 जोहार रोहित वेमुला जोहार 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 रोहित वेमुला जोहार जोहार.
Friends, this is a very appropriate time to register our protest against the withdrawal of the Maulana Azad National Fellowship. And this is not an isolated measure that the central government led by RSS, BJP, Sangha Parivar. You must have noted recently they have also withdrawn scholarships, pre-metric scholarships for SC, ST, BC and minorities. And as you know that in Karnataka, I think, in one institution, Manipal, some academy, at a private university or college, a teacher branded a Muslim student as anti-national or some. So these incidents can be actually multiplied, and this is not the last measure. We don't know what will happen in coming few days. And I want to remind you, the same central government celebrated the Constitution Day on 26th November. But immediately after that, or even before that, they have been taking all the measures which are anti-constitutional. Now this, I want you to note this point, because the measures that are taken, you know, EWS, although it is controversial, I think we can organize a big seminar or talk on that. They have brought that scholarships, reservation only for the upper caste. We should not call upper caste, there is nothing upper. The dominant caste or oppressor caste, for the poor of that, they have brought a reservation. Now this reservation is not for economic backwardness. Reservation has been introduced in the Indian Constitution for those communities who are historically suppressed, historically marginalized, historically discriminated. That is the basis. There is no point about economic backwardness. Economic backwardness is a separate criteria. We are not against that. You can help them. You can give scholarships. You can give other financial help. You can even pay their mess dues, hostel expenditure, but not reservation. Anyway, about that we can discuss later. But I only want to say one thing, why these measures are coming. Only that question I want to address by referring to new education policy. In new education policy, when it was drafted by Kasturi Rangan, a scientist, actually in the beginning it was started by Subramaniam, a cabinet secretary, writing new education policy. So there was a criticism, how can a cabinet secretary who is not even an academician can write a new education policy? But later, because of that criticism, they brought one scientist, wrote the same thing. Kasturi Rangan himself told that there is no study we have made about education system of this country. We are writing this document without any prior study of the problems of Indian education. And he also said to the committee members, we are doing out of box thinking. We are writing out of box. Everybody knows there is nothing in the box. Kasturi Rangan doesn't know anything about education, Indian education. He may be a good scientist. We have no quarrels. But about Indian education, he doesn't know himself anything, and members also don't know anything. And basically they copied. I want to go on record. They copied from USA, they copied from Australia, and they copied from Nagpur. You know, in Nagpur, RSS prepared that document and they claimed that actually 3/4 of the documents belong to us. Only some things these people added. That is copy from US and Australia. You know, NTA, National Testing Agency, you know, our faculty members do not know who conducted that examination. Recently it was held for MA. Our faculty members do not know who gave those question papers. When it was conducted also nobody knows. That is the status of this university. University has been losing its autonomy. I think this is a one point we have to make it clear, because I am also there in our academic council. We have raised this question. We ourselves are willing to give question papers, conduct entrance tests. This is autonomous institution. Why don't you allow? Then names are not important. Our head of the institution said that we have nothing in our hands. We have already committed. Who asked you to commit? Did the students ask you to commit? Did the teachers ask you to commit? Who asked you to commit? Are you vice chancellor of the students and teachers of this university, or you are vice chancellor of something else? So therefore, friends, it is he should not have committed, but he committed, and he said that, and especially for PhD, not me, all faculty members opposed, that we don't want to give our PhD examination for NTA, National Testing Agency. We want to maintain certain standards. We don't know what will happen when it goes to NTA. But unanimously only they said, we will try to convince that NTA not to conduct this examination at least for this year. I think only for this year they have kept. The point I am trying to make, friends, that universities are losing its autonomy. Why university? University is there to, what people call, to think bravely. The society which may not be able to say anything bravely, anything advanced, anything against the establishment, only universities can say. That is the duty of the university. Universities are there to criticize anybody, including the Prime Minister, including the President, whoever. There is no bar. That's why it is a freedom of ideas, freedom of thinking, and freedom of thought that has to prevail in the university. But now we are losing that. All central universities now, their Even about the admissions, they don't know. Even about the recruitment. I think I should not give names, but in one university, what happened was the screening committee constituted by the department, they have selected some list and sent for interview, and that list has been replaced by the list by Nagpur. You know how the composition of the teachers is also changing. So just 2 points I want to mention. In this new education policy, one thing is people like me or all other organizations, Ambedkar Students Association and others, we want common school system. We want common education system. Now common school system, common education, irrespective of caste, class, gender, everybody should get same education. But you see, in our country, how many types of schools we have? You have, somebody said, 28 types of schools. We have national schools, we have international schools, we have municipal schools, we have government schools, we have, I have seen in some district, we have NRI schools also. And in the universities, we have state universities, we have central universities, we have private universities, we have corporate universities, we have Jindal University. All corporate sector, they are starting their own universities. That's why I want to remind you that one student by name Anita in Tamil Nadu, she committed suicide because she was not able to clear JEE test. And in that suicide note she wrote that she posed a question to the government. It is a fundamental question on the education system. She said, when you people are not able to provide common school system, common education system, how can you conduct a common entrance test? A 21-year-old girl, daughter of a laborer in the market in Chennai, she raised a fundamental question on the Indian education system. So therefore, when we don't have common schools, when we don't have common education system, how can you have a common entrance test? You have all set, law set, you have MSET, you have JEE, you have all kinds of entrance examination, which is not justifiable in country like India. Now, okay, we are for common education system. That is our fundamental aim. And of course, we are for scientific, secular, democratic education. But let alone these things, whether this new education policy at least strengthens the existing government educational institutions, if you want to see, then there is nothing in this document. It is, I think, around 66-page document, in which, of course, one of the important way to improve the government's educational institution is to increase the budget. All commissions and committees appointed by the government itself, they said, you have to allot 6% of the budget to education. Even now, they have not allotted. And in this document, they say that now we have 4.4% on education. The state, and this is the wording of the document, the state and central government will come together to increase the budget to 6% of GDP as early as possible. Now the question is, what is the meaning of as early as possible? There is no meaning. They did not say. If they are very sincere, they should have told, say by 2025 or 26, we will allot 6% of budget for education. But they have not said that. So naturally, when you don't have funds, now what they are saying is, when you don't have funds, what is the way to raise the resources? They are asking universities, you raise the resources. How do you raise the resources? One of the ways is to increase the fees of the students. That is the easiest way. because you cannot cut the salaries of the teachers immediately, because they are a kind of a elite section of the society, and students fees you can always increase, and especially for new students you can increase, because they are not there, they will not protest, of course, unless people like us protest. So that's why they are not able, since they are not able to allot 6% of budget. What is happening is, that all recruitments are stopped. All central universities now, recently, there are no reservations implemented. Especially OBC reservations are not being implemented. SC/ST reservation to some extent they are introduced, because one of the reason is those communities have Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He is ideal. Of course, he should be ideal of all the people. But unfortunately, it's a caste system in this country. This caste system, that's why one of the civil liberties activists told, in this country, there are no human beings. Then somebody asked, why are you saying like that? Then he said, where are the human beings? They belong to this caste, that fellow belong to that caste, these are Kambas, they are Reddis, they are Patnaik, they are Lingayats. Where are the human beings? This is all caste. This caste system is so atrocious. So, therefore, he should have been the ideal for everybody in this country, but because of the caste system, they are not able to understand the greatness, the teachings of people like Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So, in school education, if you see the posts, 11 lakh posts are vacant in the schools itself. In the school education only, 11 lakhs. In Telangana, 24,000 posts are vacant in school education. Because KCR is also another soft Hindutva. KCR, he neglected education to such an extent that there is no education properly speaking. You go to any school, you go to even state university, there are no classes being held. No education. How they can compete? These people say that we are Vishwaguru. Where is a Vishwaguru? When the country has 39 crores of illiterate people, can you call Vishwaguru? Most illiterate country. This most illiterate and ignorant country, you claim outside that it is a Vishwaguru? People should have some shame before talking like that. When schools are in doldrums, when state universities are going to dogs, even central universities, no funds are given, you say Vishwaguru? So therefore, friends, all recruitment has been stopped. And the second thing is infrastructure. We are little better in central universities like ours in terms of infrastructure. But you go to any state university, no infrastructure. For that also they will write, infrastructure will be provided. That's all. Because they also know, I am not good at English. I am not expert in English. But the way they are writing English is so stupid that there is no commitment in that. Infrastructure facilities will be provided in a time-bound manner. What does it mean? What is the time? Where is the time? You should have told if you are sincere, because this document is most insincere document that has been written, and most confusing and deceptive document. I think you people should read. There is no commitment, but they said that we will provide infrastructure. So like this, the first point is, this document has not been useful. It has not provided any provision to strengthen the government education institution, whether it is school, whether it is a college, whether it is a university. This is the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is that, is it at least regulating the private? any civilized country. That's why Amartya Sen, when he was giving a lecture in a Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce, it's the Association of Industrialists. He spoke for 1 hour, and one industrialist, he stood and asked, Professor, you spoke for 1 year, one hour. You did not mention the private participation in the school education. He said, you have no business. In school education, you have no business. You need not enter. Any civilized country has to provide education to its people up to 12th class on its own. No private is required. No commercialization is required. But this document, it also has cleverly used another word. Everybody knows public-private partnership, especially the social science students. Public-private partnership is nothing but private plundering of public resources. Although they say it is a public-private partnership. What is that? Some private fellow will enter and he will take over the university and he will run and he will appropriate all the resources. Of course, this is happening in all other sectors. You take agriculture, you take others. Even aeroplanes are sold like that, airports like that. But here, they have used that public philanthropic partnership. Who is a philanthropist now? Any industrialist in India is a philanthropist. Whether it is Adani, Ambani, Kirloskar, Jindal, can any of this fellow gave at least 300, 400 crores to any university? Do they have any philanthropic attitude? You have in the Western countries, Stanford, Harvard, Oxford, that kind of universities, you have private, at least there are trusts. They provided the trust money to the education institution. But this country has never, although we say that I have nothing against Saraswati. People who believe in it, you can pray, whatever. But this Saraswati, people say goddess of education. But you are selling this God, even if you agree that with you, you are selling this God in the bazaar. Commercializing. Every degree has a rate, price. What you are doing in the name of Saraswati? Are you serious? So therefore, my point is that this document, in the name of public philanthropic partnership, it is encouraging the privatization. That's why private universities, out of 1045 universities, you have 520 or above, they are private universities. And everybody knows what is the private university. It is basically you charge for MA lakhs of rupees. Here we are virtually getting free education. But there you are charging lakhs and lakhs of rupees for degrees. Now, it is also, I should not go long, but one more point I want to ask. That some of these representatives of the present regime, they claim we are the patriots. What is your patriotism? Inviting foreign universities is patriotism. 100 best universities, what they say, 100 best universities will be invited to this country. Why? Why you are inviting? Can't you develop Central University? Can't you develop Delhi University? Can't you develop Jawaharlal Nehru University and make it best? They are already best. You have destroyed those universities and now saying that I will bring 100 best universities from foreign countries. Now this is their level of patriotism. Just selling education and inviting foreign capital, and when you have a foreign university, what will happen? Do we have any social justice in that? Do they follow Constitution? You celebrate 26th November or something as a Constitution Day. There is a circular from MHRD asking the universities celebrate. But now you are bringing a foreign university. What you will do? What is the admission policy? Do you have social justice? Do you have any control on recruitment? Do you have any control on the admission procedure, administration, nothing. You are basically developing some foreign lands within the country. This is the level of patriotism they have. I don't want to prolong. Just one more point I will tell and close. The other point is, in this document, this Kasturi Rangan writes, we are writing this document on the basis of what? They are saying we are writing this document on the basis of eternal knowledge and thought process of India. Eternal values, traditional knowledge. What is this traditional values? What is this traditional knowledge? What is this? Anybody will say that there cannot be any eternal knowledge. Knowledge always improves in any science, whether it is a social science or natural sciences. But the so-called eternal knowledge of 3,000 years back, what is that? It is nothing but Brahminism. So, in other words, what they said indirectly, we are writing this document on the basis of Brahminism. Not even at least Hinduism. At least Hinduism has some mixture. And they also mention that ancient India, I am just coming, why this removal of the Maulana Azad Fellowship? There is a conception of India which has been reduced to Hindu India. It is not India. It is basically what they say Hindu Rashtra. Hindu Rashtra is basically Hindu nation, not Indian nation. Indian nation is completely different, qualitatively different, which is inclusive, which is diverse. And that is why the great leader of this country has prepared the constitution, how different kinds of religions can live together, how different castes. Of course, we are for caste annihilation, but it's a long process. It's an atrocious institution. It has to be annihilated, demolished. But since it takes time, how different kinds of people can live together, that's why constitution is made. But you want to destroy this constitution and say, and they said that they quoted some 10 ancient, this India, they called India, actually they are not talking about India. They have no conception of India. Their conception of India is only Hindus and Hindu nation. I am not against ordinary Hindus, but ordinary sentiments of Hindus are, they have been abused to come to power and eliminate all minorities, in the sense that this kind of measures are coming because the conception of India itself is different. And in those 10 scholars, can you imagine? There is no Buddha, there is no Mahavir, there is no mention of Indus civilization. So they are very clear what their Hindu Rashtra means. And in the medieval India, there is nothing mentioned, as if there is nothing happened in medieval India. One of the reason is mostly it is ruled by Muslims. And in modern India, they have not mentioned. Can you write a education document without referring to Savitribai Phule in this country? Can you write a education document without mentioning the Jyotirao Phule? But there is no mention of these people. Those people who gave education to the people who are denied education for thousands and thousands of years in this country. Their names are not there. They openly told, historically denied, those sections which are historically denied education, I want to teach. That is the greatness of Savitribai Phule. Not only that, when she was going to school, actually she was not educated. She got educated to teach the children consciously. And it appeared when she was going, the so-called upper caste, the dominant caste, they started throwing the mud. So it appears she used to take 2 dresses. One dress, let them throw mud. They can't change my idea. They can't change my ideals. They can't change my objectives. And she taught Brahmins, Brahmin ladies, Brahmin girls. That is the greatness. Now, without mentioning these people who have worked so much, they have written this document. In other words, what I am trying to say is, in the concept of this Hindu Rashtra, you don't have religious minorities. That's why this attack. They should not have any scholarships. And next, they are also coming to RGNF. This post-metric scholarship, it includes SCs, STs, BCs, minorities. No scholarship. They should be, as per Manusmriti, they should not read at all. Why they are entering into university? Why they should be given financial support? Now, because of that, not only religious minorities, in Hinduism, what Ambedkar says, what is Hinduism basically? It is a collection of castes, nothing more. And in this, that's why within Hinduism, you don't have Dalits. You don't have tribals in their Hindu Rashtra. I am just telling. And who are there? They don't have women also. Then who are there? Only males of some dominant caste. And that is what their conception of Hindu Rashtra. And that's why I think in the future you are going to have much more reactionary measures, and especially to drive away these communities from the campuses, university campuses, college campuses, and to demolish the constitution. That is their agenda. So in this broader perspective, I think we should take this and we should build up a strong movement as a human beings, who are interested in justice, social, economic. That is the preamble of the Constitution. These people, these fellows, they read preamble of the Constitution, justice, social, economic, political, immediately they demolish all justice. So therefore, I appeal all of you to come forward and oppose this new education policy and the measures here so that we can protect. This is our university. This is a public university. It is the money of the people. We are basically living on taxes of the people. If there are no taxes paid by the people, we don't have this institution. So therefore, being educated in a public institution, we should be interested in justice. We should be interested in public education, expansion of the public education, and make really this country a literate country. Because till now, we don't have, see, after 75 years of, it is a shame to say, after 75 years of independence, that we don't have literacy. Literacy, you have those who can just write and sign, not even education at all. More than 50% of the people out of school education. What is this? So therefore, I don't want to prolong. I thank you for patient listening, and also I thank organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.